Microphone would work better if I put it in place, turn it on. Well, hello there. Just make sure everything's happy. Okay, that goal thing needs to go away off my screen. I don't know why that went off. I don't see any new subs like just this second, but thank you anyway to whoever did that. I really appreciate that. Okay. Now, let's figure out what we're doing today. I have been very busy with other things, so I haven't done anything lately with this. But we'll figure out where we are in the world here. We need to do that. That's a to-do still. And I think we might need to just go ahead and get on the other data classes. I think I want to bump these in just a hair too. Let's do that really quick first. Let's not completely hide that. There we go. Oh yeah, we need to do validation. And apply the changes. Wait, we applied changes already. No, we just finished getting reset working correctly, I think. So we do need to apply still. Okay. I think I want to do that after. Anyway, let me do this though. These guys in this row. Right, we did that with spacing and alignment. We could do... what were you called? There's a thing for this. We used it in here, in the first app tutorial guy. Need you to shrink down, please. Wasn't padding. I don't think it was. It was size. Okay, it was size box. Maybe. Yeah, it is. Okay. So we could do size box, like with a width of 10. Actually, a width of 1. Because that'll engage the spacing. Can you be just empty? You can, and that puts us there. Which I'm pretty okay with. But if we were to take that out and instead do... make you a padding. Wait. Hang on a second, what's going on here? Did I not... Ah, okay. I was just in the wrong place. I did that wrong. That's fine. I was very confused for a second there. I forgot that these guys lived in their own roles. So we could do that, and then... let's do symmetric, and we can do... 10 on both. Just to kind of bump them in a little tiny bit. So they don't ride on that. Yeah. Perfect. I like that. Ugh, I'm all tied up. Hang on here. I didn't fix that before I started. Now I gotta do it now. I should find a better solution for that. Anywho. Okay. That's good. Do that. Add in the button bar a little. Just do a quick commit for that before we get off into anything crazy here. Scroll bar always visible. I know we've done this before. I don't remember where. And I believe it only automatically works only if it's actually scrollable. This is just for the scroll bar widget, thumb visibility, but we have to wrap you in a scroll bar for that? Or can I say... Yeah, we need to wrap... Okay. All right. Put you... Not there, though. You end at the body. And then... Here... We need to set up our scroll controller. I remember doing that, too. Let's do you up here. Scroll controller. Scroll controller. And then... Looks like we need to do... Inside of here. Oh, it's controller is what it is. is that you don't seem to have this needs to be not that. That's the old one. This is thumb visibility. True. And then this might be old advice. Oh, hang on. There's a better way. Let's ditch this. We'll go back to just that. Because we can do this in here in our theme data, which is going to be great. Because then we don't have to keep doing this. We can say color scheme, yeah. Scroll. Put you in the wrong place. Scroll bar theme. Imperial state property. All. Bool. True. Oh, I did that wrong. This is supposed to be scroll bar theme data. Then this, but that's deprecated. We'll fix it in a second here. Scroll bar theme data. This needs to be thumb visibility. Okay, and then you're deprecated. You're now widget state property. We do that. Now it's visible from the get-go and not when it doesn't scroll. Perfect. We need to make sure that this scrolls too, so we'll have to get that and add new working and all that other stuff too. Lots of work to do. That's fine. We'll just roll through it as we go here. Just thinking here. I think we want to do the data classes first. I'd love to finish out the inside, get that all squared away, and then we'll go make the changes that we need to oh, we also need to fix unsaved changes. We need to roll that back when we do revert. So we'll need to change that real quick. That's fine. We're going to do a commit for this. What did we end up changing? Oh, we need to do that. We're going to say make scroll bars visible when applicable in theme. Okay, perfect. Down here in our reset button, unpressed, we set the state of that, and we also say, what do we call? No. It's the same thing we drove this off of. Save changes. Oh, it's not driven off anything. Right. Okay. Well, we need to fix that too. We need to... up here, we're going to say... that. This isn't in set state, though. This needs to be up here. I don't think I can do that as final, though. Not used, okay. So what we need to do is anytime we make a change in here, which is a little tricky. Is there a way to just get if any field in the form has been changed? Or do I have to go into each? It's a different plugin. Form state class. Short on examples there. Here's the on change, which makes sense. We could listen to the on change for most of these because they're text fields. In fact, I think for all of them. But I would like a better It's a different package again. Different package again. Might just have to do it ourselves. Which I'm not... it's fine, right? I wanted to use the more correct thing if it was possible. But that's fine. We'll go in here. We dispose them on dispose. We probably set them up here. Well, no. I don't think I can. Maybe. No. I don't think I can do... Yeah. So how would I set this up? On changed. We'd have to add a listener. But I don't want to do... the, I don't want to do a different function for each of them. If I can avoid it. Could do it down here in init state. But there's also the onChanged. Add listener. Where is... Controller's controller. Text edited controller. On example, on change example state. 3, okay, 8. 13. So anytime I... Oh, unchanged, okay. I see. You put it in the text field itself. Could do that, but... Pardon me? The... It won't get fired if we change programmatically. This callback doesn't run when the text field changes. Text is changed programmatically. I would need to add a listener, which I guess I can do. And then here I can just say if if we clear the thing before we trigger this, trigger all the resetting. Is that going to work? Because down here, we just change the effect directly. So what I think cursor and selection. But what we really want is to know that here when we set the state. Except game controller. I think we do want this to be a listener. So anytime this is changed, theoretically, if what did we call you? Original effect. then we set effect modified to true. And we do the same thing. Well, let's test this actually. So when we go back down to reset right here, we do that and then we say that's false. And then up here we say if it's true, we do that. Otherwise, it's null. Yeah, that. So that hides it until... Oh, that didn't work. It's because we need to call set state. Bet. Ooh, that breaks that though. Why would that be? Because sets... damn it. Because set state reapplies that. So there's another thing in here. Value setter. So we could say value. And there was a way... Text editing controller, text input formatters. So we copy... Yes. This becomes... controller.value.copy with, and we say text is that and then do I need, can I leave that alone? Because it should copy it. So now that still breaks stuff. Okay. So we can't do that. think this has effectively shot me in the foot. If we take that out temporarily, then that works. Resetting does not. We would need to do well. We get to get rid of that, and we probably don't need this then. And instead of overriding here, we can just make you reset fields. We don't need that. That needs to go back to that. And then instead of... we copy that. And then we say... this should have been... private, I think. Except for it is used. And then here we can say false because we just reset everything. Normally I like to group these things. We can put you here. Ah, that's done. We don't need that anymore. Then down here, instead of doing this, we could actually put this. Put all of this. We just say reset fields here. And as part of this, that. Now if I was to come here and then reset, it would work. If I just really make a mess, everything gets reset. Yeah, okay, perfect. That's a better solution. And then, actually what we can do think about if we can make this smarter. Because right now, if I say, I want bleedings, wait, no, never mind, and I delete it, it doesn't clear my unsaved changes. Nor should it, right? Because if I was to, let's say, that, and then I was to clear the changes, that'd be wrong, because these would still be... I would need a master state checker type function here. Let's actually call you set dirty. And then I can say this could actually let's do a that what's my description? We do the same thing. Help text controller. That way I don't have to do this over and over. I just do it in one place, right? That's what I'm thinking here. Oh, except for I can only do... These checkboxes are going to be different. Okay, so that's... Yeah, we're not gonna fall down that rabbit hole. Which means that this check is basically pointless. But what we could do to avoid setting state is say, if it isn't already set, then we set it. But if we're going to do this only here, we're going to have the same problem where the checkboxes don't abide by the same rules, right? Which makes that... Hey, Terrace, how's it going? Makes that a bad idea. But we're already taking care of these bits with reset fields. So that makes it not such a bad idea to do stuff in the onChanged in here. Because we can do our property modifier duration. I missed it. These guys. So onChanged here. We toggle that. And that still works correctly. And we do the same thing here, I think, where we say... We do that, and then we say... What did I call you? Effect modified. If I could type, holy cow. So then... Yeah. It's not perfect, but that's kind of a normal behavior of forms, that anytime you mess with something, it'll leave that notice up, right? Probably for this exact reason, I would expect. So we could do the same thing up here with name, because it's a text form field. We got a validator and all that. We can say onChanged. And then here we can say this needs to be a func. What have I messed up here? Is that not... Oh, it returns a string. What? Oh, I see. It takes that. There we go. And I don't actually care about the value. It just, there it is. And we can do the same thing. Seems kind of gross, but like, it's gonna work. Regardless of the value here. Let's change that. There we go. Oh, you know what else I forgot to do? Man, it's one of them days. I just don't have my brain turned on yet. All day long, I've just been nope. There we go. The way I know if my stream falls over. What are you up to today, Terrace? How's things? Beverage. Too many things open. We're done with that. Where are you? There you are. So now, anytime I oop, that didn't work. Because dang it, I forgot to set state in there. Who is holding strong, me or Flutter? Both, I guess. This. Wait. There. And then you need that. Let's fix that. Now, I come in here and it's unsaved. Same here. Same there. And I'm probably going to have to pass this in through to the other, to the custom widgets. Made a prototype of a physical product, a pencil-mounted to-do list. Would you be interested in trying it out? I would certainly look at it at least. But also, I'm really not set up to get mail. Probably modify, yeah, modifier. Okay, so this is the first number picker. And in a number picker, we handle, send it to my office, right? That's the problem. Um, but yeah, if you have it like pictures and stuff of it, I would totally look at it for sure, at least, and then maybe figure out getting it set up. Um, in here, number picker value is that. We don't have. We're going to have some trouble getting data out of here because I wrapped it in a widget, I think. Although we do have value, but that's final. Except a validator, though. Awesome. I will take a look at that here in a little bit. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it, but in fact, that might argue for getting to Nightbot. Your timing is fantastic. We're gonna need to just pass in. I think this is gonna need to have a on changed, and I guess we could do that. Validator on changed, and then not a type, of course. I would then need to say in here on pressed must be in the wrong text form field. I was in the wrong place. On changed is widgets on changed. So then I could say modifier number picker on changed is essentially the same. Not that one. This one. Oh, I need to get that. Need the whole thing in this case. So put you in there. So then if I go to modifier, ooh, it didn't work. Why didn't that work? Can't do that. Unchanged. That doesn't fire either. I'm not calling this correctly. And that's not valid because... Ah, okay. I remember that now. And this is... that. Except... No, I need to do this in ternary. Like so. Okay. Other things are broken. Set state or mark needs build altering build. Is it here or is it over there? Okay, I have other errors, but that's fine. We'll fix them first really quick here. Map dynamic down is not a subtype of type string void. Oh, whoops, I should comment the rest of that out. Okay, so that fixed it. That breaks everything. Is it because I've done... You're a void. Has type void and cannot be used. What's the unchanged supposed to be? It's a void function string. So that's correct. And I can't do that because it might be null. Void function string unchanged. I don't think it's that. Yeah, because that doesn't actually call it. Oh, whoops. Wrong place. Do I just need to wrap you in a call? Like so? That doesn't trigger still. It also breaks my resetting. Or did I break that earlier? What if I stash real quick? And then I need to rerun that. Okay, that is broken. I broke that because it's because I was overriding set state, I think. No, that's not it. So it was broken even before that. I broke that earlier today somehow. Let me stop and rebuild completely. Since I did stash. Because I thought for sure I had that working. And I tested it. I thought. So we changed things. No, okay, so that's broken still. Interesting. Okay, so let's pop the stash back off, restart you. That works. Okay, so it works if we don't change your value in there. Interesting. I don't want to pull the controller out really, but I might have to. Thought we ran into a similar problem somewhere with calling something. If we do that, it doesn't wind up getting set. And I don't think this works either. Yeah, it does not. This, however, also doesn't. But this, if we were to test you, that doesn't get fired either. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, it's because we changed it programmatically. Because we do this. So we would have to then also in here, as part of setting this state, we need to call on changed with that. If we have one. That would be that. What am I missing here? That's what I'm missing here. No? Unnecessary empty statement. Expected to find a closing comma. Oh, because I have one too many of them. And then we need to do the same thing on the other button. And then it would fire. Haha! Which is kind of gross, but we'll do it. It'll be okay. I hope. But we still need to fix that. How do we reset you and get your value out of you, ultimately? Because I can't... I can't do this because you're final. And you're supposed to be... If we make you late... Can't have a late. No bueno. Picker unchanged. We would need to... How does... Because these guys get reset. How do they handle that? They do... a thing. Hang on. They do an override for... On widget did update? Did update widget. Which we've played around with having in here before, but we've found different ways that didn't need it. But... and then this is not checkbox, but number picker. We need this for that. And they do it in this order, so we'll do the same thing. That again? Pardon me. No. So why doesn't this get rebuilt if the... Let's do that really quick. Damn it. How does this thing bind to... This dot value... The other kind of flavor. It's a final bool value. Value changed is the thing. Down here, previous value is widget value. Oh, that's on init, okay. Get onChanged, widget onChanged. Oh, interesting, okay. So we can do that. But if I use value in that, I'm sure it's the same in these others. Build toggleable. This is all the drawing that goes into a checkbox. But this is stateful. I thought I saw a click code in here somewhere. Covered states. Interesting. It just breaks the theme if you're not in Mac. Because if you're Mac, you get Cupertino. Otherwise, you get custom cap target size. Where's the actual click? We would need to go up to trailer adaptive. Unchanged. understand what causes you to rebuild yourself correctly. Still drawing and painting code, but go back up here and go to value. Final bool is value. Get rid of this while I'm here. Thinking. Oh, I illuminated my highlight here. Set state causes redraw, but it's not. Because we just had a override for did update widget, and it wasn't actually doing that. Because we set our value to the widget.value, which should be the new value if it was true, right? Oh, you know what? Reset fields, none of that does set stating. But our reset, we put reset fields inside of. In vanilla Flutter, I'm 100% sure. In your project, it might not. I'm very, very close to vanilla. See, the only packages we have is UUID right now. Right now for this one. That's the only non-default, the only thing I've added. We put reset fields inside of set state, so I guess it could be a race type deal. What if we'll take you out. We'll just call reset fields. Think you did override? Yeah, I did just right here. Oh, no, sorry. No, the override for set state has gone away. We moved away from that. But here we could do a set state call, just empty. No race conditions in Flutter, it's single threaded. Well, so if we come in here, we change this, and I get some slightly strange behavior where clicking doesn't immediately, because this gets set, so it bumps me back. But then if I reset state here, it doesn't change until I do a clicky. Oh, that might be... might be problematic because we reset the value, but not... We didn't call that. That could be my problem. No? Oh, that's backwards anyway. I would need to do set text in here. I would need to do that in theory. Yeah, that would do it. That breaks a bunch of other stuff here, but... That also is problematic for the sake of... the set state that happens when we change the visibility there. And I don't think... Let's put you back the way I had you. I like that more. Like so. Actually, maybe... Maybe I don't do that. Maybe I just do... Maybe I'll just do that. No. We do have the old widget, though, here. Can I get... I can... oh. No, I can't access that. But I could do this... and say, you're not equal to the old widget value. Oops. Then I update value, and then set the string. That fixes that, but not that. Because value never gets changed here. We would have to do like they do and track. Closed it. But we don't want this to fire always. Whoop. Little internet blip there. Are we alive? I think we're alive. If I was to change this. Well, would it matter? And if we did this, that's also not going to work because it will be different in cases like where we've just clicked. That's going to break stuff. Also causes set state to be called during build. And I can't access that because you're private. I could make this. Good thing I checked. It was getting a little windy, and to change which window I had open. Keep things from going crazy. Okay, so I was going to look at their checkbox again here for ideas about doing this in a sane way. Box log out. You're a checkbox. This dot value. They have the benefit of being able to not have to drive this value from in here. I think because you do it in your on click. Although that could be incorrect. Checkbox. No, they in the on-click you change the value out here. Okay. And I guess I could pull that up, but that would kind of suck. We would have to do something else. I think Restream's freaking out. Yeah, it is. We've gone from Twitch dropping and splitting streams, though, to Restream just sending me summaries every time my connection gets a little jank, which is probably the preferred outcome. So is there a way that we can... Why did they override... Oops, wrong place. Why did they override get value? Interesting. I guess the other thing I could do is not override that. Can I access other functions from here? From outside? So like in reset fields, could I say this one should be public? I could do... Ooh, but I don't have a reference to you. Crap. The other thing we could do, maybe, is if we could do the same thing we did up here, where was it here? We give you a unique key so that anytime the value changes, you have to get recreated? Maybe? I'm not sure if that works. We can find out, though. We'll see if it gets fired. Key, unique key. We'll see if it gets fired on a regular change or not. Yeah. Got fired when we changed this, which is not gonna work. Am I allowed to reach into the state at all? If I was to say foo, let's just say. In my, oh, I guess I need to put you back first. In here, could I access foo? No. Because you're not defined, it's part of the state. I would need to do so I can't reach into that. I can't. I can't just make you late. Because you're supposed to be immutable. Is there a different way? Make widget for T non-final. Variables in the state object is state for widget, but not in the state for widget itself. Pass it and reassign it to a state variable in the init state. Stateful widget itself is immutable, holds immutable data. Also holds immutable state object. Multiple state objects might be associated with the same stateful widget. Okay. Why does it sound so hard when you're doing it? What are you trying to say? I'm not trying to say anything. And I might be doing this in a silly, silly way. That is 100% possible. If I wouldn't be doing Flutter myself, I would never touch it after your stream. Well, I'm also trying to do things in the way that I want to do them, right? As opposed to, like, in a standard, like, mobile first way, you know? Like, I just want a button spinner, a number spinner, you know? And somebody made a whole package for this, but I don't want a whole package. I just want a simple spinner. I wonder if... This returns the widget.value. But value is still final. Can define a getter, right? But they don't. They're just returning the value here, and I don't understand why they do that. Because they're returning the same thing as the normal property. To hide the setter, but it's not a setter. It's passed in, and it's still final. Actually, it's mutable. How? Because value up here is still a final bool that could possibly be null. This is the adaptive one, but like unless I'm missing something here, it's why is that? It doesn't bother me. I'm just trying to understand why they made that decision. Because I'm trying to understand it for the sake of how to apply it here. Because I have an immutable value here, and the internal value of the state gets tracked in here. So did update widget break stuff? Because we need to make a smart decision about whether or not we actually need to reset this or not, right? Because if we click here, it just got rebuilt. And click here, click here, click here, click here, it didn't. But because the state of the parent changed, right? But when we reset the state here, we need it to get reset. And have some way, shape, or form way to do that when it's actually just driven by the I don't know if I need it or not. That's what I'm trying to understand. We need a way to reset this form to the real data, essentially, is what happens. So I can reset the data object underneath. Can just delete what? Okay. So I'll delete it. So now it's -1 here, right? And I change it, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to make that change, and I reset it. It's still 5. Because this is held within the state of this widget itself. Right, I would need to lift these buttons functionality up out of this widget to do that, though. Because this is a stateful widget in here. When you click in here, we increment the internal state value and all this other stuff. String it, spit it out into the field. Right, but then I would need to put my on-press stuff up here in the parent widget, right? But pulling this up here would make a mess in here, even more than it already is, right? So I was hoping to avoid that. Because then I'd have to give a register like a increment and a decrement callback. Need to deliver your value to parent widget. How would I do that? Oop, that is a lot of rain. Hang on one sec. There we go. Don't want the rain inside. Let's see here. I believe you already have widget on changed called with updated value. No? Let me roll down to... That's name. Help text. Here's a number picker. Oh, yeah, you're right. But that's the one I just registered. Oh, I see. I think I see what you're saying. So I would need to in here. I would need to do that. But then I would have to parse out that. So then that doesn't let me reset you though. And it also has, well, I did have the I guess I don't have the double click. I must have just mistaken. Still can't reset it though. Reset the value on number picker to a 0 after resetting line 270. It gets reset to the default as part of the reset. We copy the original effect that we store when we load the when we build the editor widget here. We copy that into the in memory working deal. So we have a shadow copy of the unmodified to roll back to. Set state gets called as part of the reset button. We call reset fields inside of a set state. If your effect thing doesn't change value to 0, well, we can certainly do a print. Let's do it down here after that. We can do modifier. So if I click, it says -1, right? So if I go and I change this and I reset, it says -1. We don't even actually modify that, really. The only thing we modify is the state inside of this widget. And that might be the, I just can't do that. That might be the flaw in my thinking. And I have to lift up the button clickies, the on clicks for them. It's too much for me to comprehend through the Twitch. Gotcha. Right. So what I really want is a pointer, basically, inside this widget, but that's not Darty. So I'm thinking I probably just have to adjust my thinking, more or less. It seems like I should be able to do what I want, but I don't think I can. That's why I have this. I feel like you broke Flutter. I mean, look, there's a reason I don't do front ends, all right? I tried to go and apply, sane back end things to what I want in my conception, and I encounter front-endiness. I mean, it probably would if this was actually driven off of value and never changed, right? I don't know why I would need a stateful widget, though, if I was going to do that. It's because we copy, in a init state, we copy the value that's passed into the start of the widget, and we increment that to display it. That's the real thing. But I can't, like, let's say I take value out of there, right? And then I wouldn't need that. This would become, these would all become, well, I'm going to break everything if I do this. I wouldn't be able to do a decrement on here. I'm not driving business logic. I'm attempting to just change the in-memory copy, right, of the data structure that lies underneath. But I think that is the answer, that I just need to lift the increment and decrement. I need to come in here. It needs to be a function. It's going to be a void. It's going to be optional. What I suspect happens, there's a third widget that's higher than the status effect edit panel. It doesn't get callback for state change and it replaces its children. Yeah. Let's get rid of, oop, not that one. Let's get rid of that really quick just for funsies. We want a print -1 with the hash code of the widget. How do I print a hash code of a widget? In here. We print the string of the modifier. And you want to reset the state. Okay. Reset fields. We'll print that. Widget hash code. Okay. So. There we go. And now I'll increment. Pop, 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 pop. And I'll clear, or I'll hit my reset button. Samey same. I'll wait for the old stream delay. Have some cheapo not Gatorade. Add print to build, sure. Okay, there's that. I'll hit reload. I'll boop, 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 and then I'll hit reload. With full state of widget.effect. I don't have a stringer for it, so that's going to be tricky. Can we do just one field or two fields or some fields? Some fields, okay, which fields you want? And you want it in build or in reset? Can I get... How about the hash code of the widget effect? In build, any fields. Okay. Let's do name. Oop. And modifier. Okay. So it's cold and it's -1. And I clicked on it to make it the effect different. And it only changed one time because it pulled... It did an update state in the parent here. But if I reset again, then it goes back to -1. Holy cow, that's a lot of rain. My internet's getting extra spotty because it's raining really hard. Yeah. Broken, right? I suspect it's going to continue to get worse because that's a heck of a rainstorm happening right now. Oh, it happened again. Alright. Am I back? I'm kind of back, I think. I'm going to call it a night because the rainstorm is continuing to get worse. If I can even stay online long enough to tell you I'm leaving. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna log off before it becomes worse and worse. So yeah, if you guys like this kind of thing, I'd love to see you again. I do this thing 4 days a week for a couple hours a day, starting today, ending on Monday. So swing back through. I start at 8 p.m. Central Time in the U.S. Love to see you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.